So there are two ways to see the scaling part. First of all, you can see how do we scale this way of working and get more people involved. So scale the way of working, thinking, etc. And then the other, how do we scale a young business to a mature business? About the second part, why this end-to-end process is so important is that I know that, let's say, in certain industries, so not every industry is the same. The finance world is very different than fast-moving consumer goods. But we need to understand and learn how fast we can go from idea to MVP to repeatable MVP and then scale it in the business. And that means that in the team itself, there should be a disciplined way of reporting on the metrics, understand the one metric that matter. Let's say all the thinking behind lean analytics and these types of ideas. So that's an important aspect. Then the other point, what is very important, is that we need to understand and involve the organization in how to scale this business. So you have ideally a person in your team that is an innovative person, always thinks about new ideas, creative person, etc. But you also need to understand that at one point, the goal is not to produce an MVP. The goal is to produce a business that is repeatable and can be done by somebody that is more process driven and executes very well. So the scaling part, you should have somebody in your team that only thinks about how can I make this repeatable in the core business so it can be scaled. So if I know how the sales engine works of the existing company, what kind of cycles they have, what kind of policies they have around margins, around whatever it might be, then I can try to fit my MVP in the language that the execution force needs to go outside and start selling it 1,000,000 times. And that is, let's say, that's a missing angle most of the time. So you have MVPs, but does it actually fit in the financial model and how it can be scaled with the assets of the corporate? Yeah, there are a lot of tensions. Yeah, sometimes forgotten. So it's also annoying if people from the core business come and they tell you, "Look, it's a great MVP, but I cannot sell it. You know, it doesn't fit." And you can see that as annoying. You can also see it as a point. Hey, maybe if I want to make this successful, how can I think creatively and try to fit also with the people that needs to execute, that needs to sell, that etc.